While he carried about a heart condition that could have done him in at any moment. Except for a single doctor and his staff, no one had an inkling. She approached him about this. He simply said, "Well, I can see no good in causing people to worry about me, especially you, my dear." Now this was the story of a man of great spiritual worth. The hallmarks were plain to be seen: humor and patience, gentleness and courage, humility and dedication, unselfishness and love, a demonstration I might never come near to making myself. This was the man I had chided and patronized. This was the unbeliever I had presumed to instruct. Now let's look at these attributes that Bill cites here for this doctor. Humor, that's something we practice, isn't it? Patience, we are patient. We practice patience. Gentleness, gentleness is something that we practice, something we do. Courage, we demonstrate courage. Humility, we act with humility rather than with pridefulness. Dedication, we are dedicated. We don't just think about it. It's not a state of mind. It's what we do. We act in a dedicated way. Unselfishness, we act with unselfishness. And love. Love is not a state of mind, by the way. Love is loving action, or it's nothing. Love which is not acted upon is exactly the same as faith. Faith without works is dead. Love without loving action is dead. And when we look at this, what do we find? We find this doctor demonstrating all of his affairs, all of those attributes that we would want to ascribe to someone who is spiritually fit. These are the attributes we would like to have for ourselves. But notice that each and every one of those had to do with the way the doctor conducted his life. And that's the key for us. This program is not about undisclosed states of mind. When we read in the 10th step, the love and tolerance of others is our code, that doesn't mean that we carry around some vague idea of being loving. It means that we act with love. It doesn't mean that we have an attitude of toleration. It means that we tolerate. We are tolerant. And so when we learn this, then we see that what we're learning through the steps is to constantly act upon these things which we ought to do, which in and of itself will always inevitably lead to a spiritual awakening. Mary told us this story more than 20 years ago. Then for the first time it burst in upon me how very dead faith can be when minus responsibility. Faith without responsibility is dead. The responsibility to carry that faith, to act upon it. The doctor had an unwavering belief in his ideals, but he also practiced humility, wisdom, and responsibility. Hence his superb demonstration. Down at the last paragraph, therefore, and I'll believe this with all my heart, faith is more than our greatest gift. Its sharing with others is our greatest responsibility. So may we of AA continually seek the wisdom and the willingness by which we may well fulfill that immense trust which the giver of all perfect gifts has placed in our hands. That's our article for tonight. And now we share with each other, like to share on faith or how we work in expressing our faith to others, or our spiritual feelings to others, or anything which is comparable to that. Please do. And let's start out. Who would like to begin the discussion, please?
Well, my name is Tom. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Tom.
And then I'll tell you about the faith I had 3 years ago. I started recording Jim, and I thought he had an awesome message. And I went to another group, just put me down for it until you just believe nothing, you know. And I heard some bad things. I knew that the word was, Jim's message was really good, and I just had faith that it would help a lot of people, and it had. But I could have listened to all those people that are down on me, and I've went through all kinds of shit, and people know. And I kept faith, and I knew that it would help people, and I'm still doing it 3 years later.
Yeah, we got kicked out of the Pompano Beach room, didn't we, Tommy?
Yeah.
You remember that old biddy that was in there who was saying, well, it's against the tradition. You can't record anything. And so we said, okay, we're out of here. Thank you, Tom. Who's next? Go.
My name is Mark.
Hey, Mark.
I'll just share something that was going on in my life right now. For a long time, I truly believed that I was supposed to be doing spiritual things, and right now I'm in the process of selling a business that I have. I'm doing environmental work, and I believe it's in the best interest for the company to sell this business to another company that will grow it. I think it'll be the best thing for the employees. And I think that God has intentions for me to do things to help other people. And I believe that one day I'm supposed to open up a treatment center to help alcoholics and addicts. And the thing is, it's like when I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I get ridiculed by a lot of people. And it makes it very difficult dealing with all the feelings that, nobody has trust or faith. But I know in my heart that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The thing for me is selling this business is not a financial windfall for me. And I do know that I'm going to have to try to do some other things to generate some more money to even try to start a treatment center. But I truly have faith that that will happen. I believe that when you're trying to do good things, things that I think God wants me to do, He will make it all happen, and I know that for a fact. As long as I'm not, as long as my motives aren't self-seeking, as long as my motives are that of trying to do good for others. And when I started the company that I have doing environmental work, I started it out as a business that would be good to the employees, so I would be fair to the employees. And the thing is, we were one of the few companies that survived economic downfall in the environmental industry. And I believe everything that happened that kept us going, it was, as I look back, it was only God things that made it successful. It wasn't anything I had to do. I showed up and did what I could, but it was definitely a higher power that made it all happen. And, I'm going to try to do the next right thing and see what happens later on.
Good. Thank you, Mark. I think Bill would call what you just described as having the vision for your future. And I want to read you something he wrote about that. He says, vision is, I think, the ability to make good estimates, both for the immediate and for the more distant future. Some might feel this sort of striving to be a sort of heresy, because we AAs are constantly telling ourselves one day at a time. But that valued maxim really refers to our emotional lives. It means only that we are not to repine over the past, nor wishfully fantasize or daydream about our future. As individuals, we shall surely suffer if we cast the whole job of planning for tomorrow on a kind of providence. God has endowed us human beings with considerable capability for foresight. and He evidently expects us to use it. Therefore, we must distinguish between wishful dreaming for a happy tomorrow, today's use of our powers of thoughtful estimate of a kind which we trust will bring future progress rather than unforeseen woe. And I think there is a massive difference between a vision that